Coach Harbert, how we doing?
Well, how's it going?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. You making it, man?
Yeah, no complaints.
Surviving, huh? That's good. It's good. How's the family?
Oh, we're good. Very, very fortunate to kind of be where we are, and got pond out back. Kids can go fishing, so they
Oh,
got enough to do to keep themselves active and not not get on our nerves too much.
oh yeah. There you go. That's great, man. Well, for the sake of this video, do me a favor and just introduce yourself. Tell me who you are, what you do. Tell me a little bit about your family.
Yeah, my name's Jeff Harbert. I'm the head football coach at Frisco High School. Got a wife, Crystal. Been married 15 years, be 16 next month. Two boys, Coben and Cruz. Coben's 12 and Cruz is 9.
All right. So right there in that age of wanting to do anything and everything, huh?
You got it. You got it. Keep them busy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I don't know you personally, in terms of like haven't coached with you before. I haven't really coached against you ever. So I was a coach for about 8 years. I was in Missouri for a while. I was at IMG Academy for a year, and then I vaulted out here to Texas. So I was at Plain West for 4 years, and then I was at Lone Star for a year.
Wow.
Then I bounced out, and now I have a 1-year-old daughter that's running around everywhere like crazy. And
Oh,
so
yeah. You,
so jumped into the sport nutrition world. Now I'm working for Chipotle. So
yeah.
with all of this craziness of the world going on right now, most of my job is face to face, but now you can't do that. So
Yeah.
this is about as good as it gets with trying to be face to face and having conversations with coaches and trying to reach out with different partners and kind of keep this whole thing going. So a little bit about me. I run the Real Food for Real Athletes program. I know I've been out to Frisco once with you guys,
Mhm.
just briefly trying to get you guys fed and talk a little bit before you all started game planning. So, yeah, Coach, I just want to kind of pick your brain on some of this coronavirus stuff, go through a couple questions, and then get you out of here. So, first, just tell me a little bit about your personal coaching philosophy, your mindset, why you do what you do.
Yeah. I mean, kind of my purpose goes back to my days in college. I was pre-med major, kind of going that route, and went to UCO for a semester, played some football up there around, good coaches, but, not what I would consider transformative coaches. And then transferred to Southeastern Oklahoma State, played for a guy named Keith Baxter. And, just seeing the way that he was able to impact me and my teammates really left a mark on me. And I knew that I would never be able to make that sort of impact if I was a doctor on young lives. And then couple that with working some Fellowship of Christian Athlete camps and things of that nature. Really, kind of got the juices flowing as far as teaching young minds and how much I could influence them. And then playing college football really got me into the schematic side of football, and I was really interested in that. So kind of all those things, God worked to lead me on a path to coach. And so I got my alternative certification, spent a year at Irving Nimitz, and then came to Frisco in 2005 when Coach Vance Gibson was hired. He hired me to coach freshman linebackers and receivers. So been there ever since. So my philosophy, it starts with relationships and using this game to impact kids for the kingdom of God. Our mission statement as a staff is to provide these young men with a positive experience while teaching them skills that will enable them to be excellent fathers, husbands, employees, and leaders. And that's something that, that we strive to really keep our focus on. Our athletic director, Coach K, always says, don't let the goal get in the way of the purpose. The goal is to win games, but the purpose is far greater. We're here to impact lives. So, those are the things that we really try to instill in our coaching staff, and our coaching staff instills in our kids.
That's awesome, man. That was going to be my next question is what makes your program special and what sets you guys apart, but I think you just answered that pretty well with that right there. So how's this virus affecting you guys, not only you as a coach, but your staff and trying to relate to your kids and still get to them and talk to them and do things with them. So how's this affecting you guys?
That's tough. It's tougher on my staff than it is me because Frisco ISD. I mean, if they're going to do something educationally, it's going to be like top notch. So
Mm-hmm.
they're asking a lot of classroom teachers. So some of our guys are really kind of swamped and trying to develop lessons and do that part. So they're staying busy with that, and then add to that we're trying to stay on top of the kids. It's very difficult. Especially this is kind of the time when you build your team during the off season.
Yep.
And luckily we'd kind of gotten through, a lot of our core values and some of the things. And, we've got a lot of experience coming back. So the guys are familiar with those, but we have a big freshman class that you really want to make sure that they understand what it is to be a Frisco Raccoon. And, they're losing out on 10 weeks of that sort of instruction, not to mention the football aspect of it. So, when we get back, it's going to be hitting the ground running, and it's going to be all about football and all about, teaching that side of it. So this is really kind of the important time that you would like to have them in front of you so you can teach them. But then, you don't want to bog them down with too many meetings because on the flip side, they've got their schoolwork stuff that they're trying to do. The way we've kind of split it up is we have accountability groups, about 5 or 6 kids in each group. And then each group has 2 co-leaders, and each group has a coach assigned to it. So most coaches have 1 group, a couple have 2 groups. And so the coach communicates with the group leaders, and the group leaders in turn communicate with their accountability groups, and just checking in on each other, making sure everybody's well and healthy and feels good, making sure everybody's working out, holding them accountable to that, and then making sure they're getting their schoolwork done. And, obviously it's tough. That's the toughest piece, is holding everybody accountable right now, because you're not there to actually see them do their workout. You're not there to actually look them in the eye and say, hey, this school assignment isn't done. So, we're trying to do some of that. We're using Zoom and some other things to do that, but it's tough at the end of the day. Right now we've got our kids Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 3:00. They're doing position meetings with various position coaches. So, we touch base with them, a couple times a week, and coaches are in front of them, and we're talking to them about the grades, and then, we're trying to get scheme taught and all that stuff. But, as well as I do, that, there's no substitution for the work on the grass that we're missing out on.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And it's hard to really build your culture the way you want to through virtual meetings and things like that. Do me a favor and define culture for me and what you think that means for your program. What does culture mean for you guys?
I think culture is just the way that everyone interacts with each other within the program. It's the set of values that we adhere to. Our culture starts with our 4 core values, and our first one is humility. I'll tell the guys my favorite Bible verse is Luke 14:11. It says, every man that makes himself great will be humbled, but every man that humbles himself will be made great. We always talk about how it's not fun to be humble. It's fun to be made great. So you make sure you humble yourself. And with that humility, I think that kind of lends itself to the next one, which is accountability. If you're not humble, then you're not going to be willing to be held accountable by somebody. And in the area of accountability, we talk about, obviously trustworthiness. That's being able to hold each other accountable, and I'm being able to trust you. If you're not there, you're going to call me and let me know where you're at and all that stuff. But then the flip side of that is leadership. We've got to, have the courage to hold each other accountable. And that's where we really focus in on our upperclassmen and developing those leaders. After we talk about humility and accountability, the next one's discipline. And we kind of see discipline as a 2-pronged approach. There's, hardworking. You got to kind of make yourself do those things that you really don't feel like doing. You know, when it's hot outside, football practice, when it's time to go work in the weight room and you don't feel like it, that's an aspect of discipline. But then there's another aspect of discipline, and that's self-control. And that's, you know, in your social life, you got to stay away from those things that could harm our team, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or anything like that. So, you know, that's the third core value. And then after discipline, we talk about grit. And to me, that's kind of what Frisco Raccoon football has been about in my 15 years as part of the program. You know, we run the wing tee. We're proud ourselves on being tough and physical, and you know, just getting it done with some kind of blue collar guys that might give up a little bit in talent here and there, but they're going to fight till the end. And you know, that's where the grit piece comes in. We talk about perseverance when things aren't going well, staying the course and overcoming it, but then determination, looking to something you want to achieve and reaching those goals. So, you know, our culture starts with our 4 core values of humility, accountability, discipline, and grit. And, you know, I think our kids buy into that. And we talk about the importance of, you know, not just being that around the coaches, but being that in the classroom and being that, you know, right now when you're home and nobody else is around.
You guys had a pretty good little season here last year, if I remember correctly. Going into this next year, missing spring football and then maybe some of the summer stuff. We don't know yet. What's your goals look like for the short term in 2020? I know, you know, long-term goals ain't going to change once we get back. Everything's going to be the same. But what kind of building around the coronavirus and thing that's happening with COVID-19, what are your goals in the short term for 2020?
Well, in the short term, you know, we're just focusing on making sure our guys are working out and staying in a little bit of shape, you know, and then we're trying to get our scheme taught like we would, you know, in the spring. You know, it's just we're missing the grass time, we're missing the drills, but we have our position meetings where, you know, we're going through stuff. You know, we got rules sheets and everything, and you know, we're in a fortunate situation. We've got 9 starters returning on offense and 7 or 8 on defense, depending on how you look at it. We had kind of a part-time kid that will be starting that played a lot. So, but we've got a lot of knowledge and experience returning, and you know, some guys that know what to do and understand our schemes. So we just want to make sure that retention piece is there, and then you know, there's going to have to be, you know, 5 or 6 guys fill in new spots, and we're trying to make sure that they understand the scheme and what's going on. You know, video study through Huddle. You know, the Zoom screen sharing has been a great deal. We can diagram stuff like they're in the room, and you know, share the screen and go through Huddle video. So I think that's been very beneficial. The only thing about that is, you know, when you're in a meeting room and you're showing video and you can kind of look around and see it. Well, when you're screen sharing, you can only see 3 or 4 faces on the side, and you have to scroll down. It's just, you know, it's not the same. Of course, you know, those kids come in and they mute the video and they can mute the audio. And so, you know, really they could come in and set it and not be paying attention. So that's, you know, one area that we're struggling in. But I'd say our goals in the short term are just making sure our kids adhere to our core values and, you know, keep learning and that retention piece and learning our schemes.
Yeah, man, I think once all this deal's over with and everybody's back full go, I think culture and leadership is going to show, you know, everything that happened in darkness is going to come to light, because everybody's having the same problems right now. Everybody's dealing with the same thing. So the moment this is all over with, those programs that are doing stuff now, it's going to shine and it's going to show.
Absolutely.
So awesome, man. Well,
we talked to our kids about that. We're worried about, you probably know the kids in your program that are working out, and you probably know the ones that aren't. And, you know, we got a couple of positions that are up for grabs, and we got some upperclassmen that, you know, you would have thought would have had the upper hand in off season. But, you know, I think there's some younger guys that are really, you know, working and getting after it. And I think it's going to rear its head whenever it all returns, just like you said.
Oh yeah, I see lots of kids posting on Twitter, man. Kids are everywhere trying to get the work done, lifting tires and jugs and whatever they can find. So
yeah. It's
going to show. It's going to be pretty cool to see. Actually, I'm excited for this year and to see how people have adapted and changed and things like that. So it's pretty cool. What are you guys using I mean, you don't have to tell me too much, but what are you guys using in terms of like getting your kids workouts and getting things shipped out to them?
Well, we don't have the luxury. My good buddy Josh Gibson, he's out at Texarkana Pleasant Grove, and they've won state 2 of the last 3 years, and uh, runner up the other year, and they kind of got their own little niche in their little community. And I think he said they took, like 7,000 pounds of weights to varsity kids so they could work out.
Wow.
That's awesome. But in a place like Frisco, that wouldn't necessarily fly because you can't interact with them because we're more stringent in our, but then at the same time, it's like, we've got 105 kids and we don't have that many weights. So we can't fight our JV kids. But anyways, we've got several kids that kind of have, some home workout equipment and at least some dumbbells. And then we've got kids that don't have anything. And, I know some kids are kind of getting together, and we got one lineman that's kind of got his own, he's got a sweet setup, kind of squat rack and a bench and the whole 9 yards. And he's got some buddies lifting with him. And,
oh yeah.
So we've got a wide variation, but what we've done is we took our workout that we had been doing, our standard workout 4 days a week, and we went ahead and posted that. And then beside that, we posted a body weight alternative exercise with a YouTube video so they could click on it and see what it was. So, if they can't do, back squat because they don't have a squat rack, well, they're going to do some pistol squats. And so they can click on that and see what a pistol squat is. And so we've got everything for squat. We've got a deal. And then for the auxiliary for squat, we've got a body weight alternative. So there's something there so they can follow along the workout and, get some sort of work done no matter what. And then we've posted our running program as well with, links to videos so they can see. I told them, honestly, I don't care what they're doing as long as they're doing something.
Right. Yeah. Just don't sit there and play video games.
Yeah. I saw a couple of kids were at the park on a hillside, and they were putting the other one on their back and running up and touching the fence and running back down. I'm like, that's awesome. That's
right.
Great.
Yeah.
Technically, I guess CDC wouldn't be keen on their lack of social distancing, but I'm glad they're doing something and finding a way to get some work done.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Well, if you guys ever run out of content and you need anything nutritional wise, I can't help you a whole lot in the strength and conditioning spot, but if you need some nutrition stuff, holler at me. I can send you all some content stuff if you want to send that out to them. But
yeah,
I know it's going to be a long road virtually from here until then. But man, I think you guys are doing a great job. I talked to a lot of coaches, and it seems like you guys really have your stuff together. So that's pretty awesome. I'm a little partial to the Frisco world, so
absolutely.
I love it over there. But Coach, I appreciate you talking to me, man, and taking the time to roll through this video and let me know a little about you guys and the Raccoon program. Appreciate it. Once this stuff opens back up, man, we'll get back together and we'll come out and talk to your staff again and get some stuff done, and we'll get Weldon back out there and get him back involved. But,
yeah.
Awesome.
That's funny. We've been staying in touch with Weldon, and we've kind of might have revolutionized our Bible study, because we had a Friday morning deal that we used to do, and now we're doing it on Zoom. And I'm like, you know what? We've got more guys coming to it because it's, on a normal Friday, it's kind of hard to get up there at 7:15, but you can wake up 7:30. I was like, this is great. We might have to Zoom even if we're together, just so I can start the video on my way in, because sometimes I don't get there till 7:30, 7:40. But like you're saying, it's going to be a different world after the fact. Even when we're all back to get together, I think some new efficiencies and some new ways of doing things have come about from this. So there's always something positive to come from everything. So it'll be interesting to see.
For sure, man. I do some analytic work like on the side apart from all this for a couple schools around close to us, and they're talking about not meeting at all on Sundays now.
Yeah, we haven't met. So I tell you, it's funny. We went when Wakeland opened, like 2007, 2008, we lost 23 games in a row. Went 0-23 for a stretch. and we were working Sundays. We were, just killing ourselves, getting after it.
Yeah.
And then the following year, you're like, you know what, this is dumb. We can get everything done, stay a little longer on Saturday. And so then we trimmed back in the middle of a 4 and 6 year, kind of a transition. Then the first year that we stopped working on Sundays, we went 10 and 3 and won more games than we ever won. It's like, man, this is, so we hadn't worked on Sundays since.
We figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, man, there's something to say about keeping the Sabbath. I'm telling you, there's
Absolutely
something to say about having one day.
Yeah, guys that have come in from other places, they're like, man, it just makes such a huge difference. It's not such a grind. You have a day with your family, and then you come back refreshed to really get after it.
Right.
And it does. And like you said, I mean, there's a reason that God put it into place. It's because we need it. And
right.
You take advantage of it and honor him. I think, he honors your efforts the other 6 days of the week.
100%, man. And I think like obviously we have the technology now, like between Huddle and Zoom and all the other platforms that we can use, like you can get so much stuff done. Just like I created an office in a closet because this is where I can get stuff done right here. Just close the door, turn on the light, and I can just work.
Yeah.
And, man, I'm telling you, like with the way things are now, I think it's going to be different coming back out of this in terms of like technology and stuff. It's going to be different.
Yep.
Wow. All right, man. I'm going to hop off here, Coach. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's a great conversation. I'll post it up and try to get it sent out to you here pretty shortly, and you can use it however you want and go from there.
Okay. Thanks, Shane. I appreciate it.